guys, this is Lord Chael speaking on behalf of our show sponsor, Established Titles. Established Titles is a project based on a Scottish custom where landowners are referred to as lords and ladies. They allow you to buy as little as 1 square foot of dedicated land so you can officially call yourself a lord or a lady. Established Titles is not just about your ego. You also get to do some good. In addition to your new fancy title, Established Titles supports global charities like One Tree Planet and Trees for the Future to help with the afforestation effort. Your title pack gets you at least 1 square foot of dedicated land in a private estate in Scotland. Your certificate features a unique plot number where you can see the exact location of your land. And right now, Established Titles is holding 200 plots of land right next to mine. So come join me in the Bad Guy Inc. Kingdom. Getting this certificate even allows you to officially change your name to Lord or Lady. Put it on your credit card, put it on your plane tickets, or if you're so inclined, put it on your dating profile. Makes for a great last-minute gift, and there's even couples packs that come with adjoining plots of land. Established Titles is having a great limited-time sale. Go to establishedtitles.com/Chael to save 10% off today. Remember to use the promo code Chael, or just click on the link below. Belal Muhammad does not believe Colby Covington is going to accept a fight with Chimaev. Belal Muhammad is done, speaking about himself, fighting down. He's only going to fight guys ranked in front of him. You guys disagree with anything you just said? Does any part of that not sound right? Do you think that Colby is going to fight Chimaev? I am definitely bullish on that idea of getting Colby and Chimaev together. I don't think we have a clear number one contender in the world. You've heard me repeat that many times, but I don't think that we have a clear number one contender than we do at welterweight in the form of Colby Covington. I don't know that we have anybody clearer that is a rising star that they're trying to get to a number one contendership, and they includes you, includes us. We're all in this thing together trying to get Chimaev raised up, get him in there for a belt opportunity. Put those two together, and we also know that Dana likes the idea. We know that because Dana gave us the idea for a show that ended up being in Long Island with Brian Ortega versus Yair Rodriguez, just for time perspective for you. And Dana had told Pat McAfee that he would like to make that Chimaev versus Colby. So we know that everybody likes the idea. The problem I have with that fight, or predicting for you guys that we're going to see that fight, is as recently as 4 days ago on the Underground Forum, there was a poster for that fight, complete with a date. It was going to be in March. It was going to be a number one contendership. It was going to be Colby versus Chimaev, and we all believed it, myself included. I realize that's not a great place to just go get news, and I realize that kids with their editing skills, I knew that wasn't a UFC-made poster. I'm just sharing for you where there's smoke, there's fire, and the Underground's a really good place to start. The only problem that I've had since then is Colby, who is a master of making sure people know what he's going to do next, and Chimaev, who loves to let people know what he's going to do next, have both been completely quiet. What clue do we derive from that? Right, because it's not always if they're quiet, it's not going to happen. That's not true either. You got to really do your detective work. You got to get out your magnifying glass and look very closely. A lot of times when two guys go quiet, it means the deal is done. There would be a number of reasons you would not announce a fight or a number one contenders fight or even a main event that is scheduled for March of next year. In October of this year, there would be a number of reasons that you wouldn't do it. And the fact that both guys have gone quiet could signify that we have a deal. I want to go back to what Belal said. See, Belal can't always talk this way. Belal can't always be the guy that's not getting a fair shake. He can't always be the guy that's going to dig in and it's onward and upward. He can't always be the guy that needs to be a number one contender and or championship matches. But once you go do some real heavy lifting, I mean, you want to look back over this weekend, guys? If you wanted to talk about the performance of the night, you're probably going to come to the conclusion, Islam, I wouldn't disagree with you, but Islam got blessed with a number of wonderful things and recognition. So let's just remove Islam. If you want to talk about performance of the night, it's Belal Muhammad. You want to put Islam back in that competition, it's going to be a head-to-head with Belal Muhammad. That was the single greatest performance of anybody on Saturday. And Belal, who's a multi-time main eventer, did it on an undercard, and he did it against a guy who had never been beat because nobody else was willing to go fight the guy. When you do that, you can then start talking that way. It can't just be all take, right, guy? It's got to be give and take. One thing that has made Ali such a successful manager is he understands that one concept. It's not all take. You got to give and you take. You work together. But I bring that to you because while many guys will say it or claim that they will do it, right? The guy that says, I'll fight anybody, the guy that does that doesn't actually mean he'll fight anybody. He means I'll fight anybody that other guys don't want to, that's a really hard fight, that's got a beautiful placement on the card, that's going to up my career, that's going to bring me some money, and that's going to bring me some notoriety. That's what he really means. Finding the guy that will go the other way is a whole nother level of courage. Right, you think some guys have some big bone because he goes and gets in there with somebody that's tough? Go get in there with somebody you're expected to whip. You are going to feel a different kind of pressure, and it is going to require a different level of courage. Now, no part of that is to dismiss Sean Brady. Sean Brady should not be dismissed. I am sharing for you for Belal, who's been a multiple-time main eventer, who is the guy that broke the win streak of Leon, who is coming off a victory over a former rival who was named number one contender the night that Usman and Covington Part 2 happened, and Belal won, and he had to go down to an undercard. He didn't get the feature. He didn't get the spotlight. You know the pressure that he had on him? Did you see that celebration by Belal? That celebration was nothing. It was not excitement by Belal. It was not a payday at all. It wasn't about making his mother proud. That is not what you saw in that celebration. That celebration ties into one emotion and one emotion only, and that's called relief. Belal Muhammad knew what was on him in that spot. He knew why he got the call. He knew that he got asked. And if you do look back historically, see, if you didn't understand that, then I'm sorry. I can't do any better to explain it. But if you look at it historically, at guys who have shown that courage and that bravado while going down, totally different set of nuts that's required, guys. A number of guys will look brave to the world while walking in there into a very hard fight. And there's no pressure on them. They're an underdog, right? I mean, that does take courage. You're a tough guy. I don't take anything away from you if you're willing to do that. I'm just sharing with you. It takes a completely different kind of resolve to go into a match against a guy who's a killer that nobody recognizes, that is not going to elevate you. But by God, it'll sink you like a stone. It takes a different kind of courage. And when you do that, including just once, as a test of our way of calling your bluff, you said anybody, sure you meant that will help me, but that's not what you said. You said anybody. So we're going to call you on it. We're only going to call you on it once. When you pass that test, the clouds part. It is moonlight and canoes, and that is the position that Belal's in. Now, Belal can't walk into a world title fight. Not with the landscape the way that we understand it, right? Things happen and things change, and this world comes at you fast in this business. But we do understand that Kamaru Usman is going to be given an opportunity to go into a trilogy fight and to get back his belt. We understand that, and Belal was very respectful about it. He just said, put me on the same card. He went further to say, I don't think this Colby Chimaev thing's going to happen, so give me Chimaev. Nobody else wants to fight him. Nobody's lining up to fight him. I will line up for it. Now, let's make damn sure clear that if I do it and I do it successfully, I am now the guy left standing. And let's just go a little bit further. Put me on the same card as this trilogy between Leon and Kamaru. And if something happens, you don't pull Chimaev up, you pull me up because I'm the one that came to the table first. I'm the one that's suggesting it, and I'm the one willing to back my balls by signing to fight Chimaev. Who agrees and who doesn't? I mean, that's the spot that Belal's put him in. Pretty straightforward. There was nothing unreasonable about that. There was nothing silly about it. There was nothing braggadocious about it. He's asking for a fight opposite Chimaev. That's a hard day. Oh, and by the way, If anything happens, move me up one step harder and put me into a title bout. That's what he's asking for, and nobody else is. Belal had a lot of your guys' support. He did. And whether rhetorically I'm finding the right words in the right order, you that know, do know that what I'm saying is true, that he got called the other way, and this was his chance to blink. Many times, guys don't blink when they're going up. They blink, they got the sore shoulder, they got a cough. When they're asked to go down, it's a very hard spot to do, but once you do it, and you do it once, you have passed the test. That is the litmus test. That has been done. I don't think there's anything that Belal is asking for that's easy. No part of it involved himself. He's not turning the gun on the organization and say, pay me a bunch of money. He's saying some of us are willing to fight and some of us aren't. And those of us that are willing to fight and we're doing it successfully need to be rewarded in a certain way. Do you disagree with him?